And this is a game where players are going to be playing through a series of tales. Each of these tales is going to be providing some unique rules and components that are specific to that tale. And you can also tailor the difficulty depending on how difficult you want it to be. But what's really interesting about these tales is they're actually going to be made up of a deck of cards. Not all the cards are going to be used in every single tale because these do have some branching paths and there's going to be different decisions being made as you play throughout this game, which means that you will get different results even if you do decide to play the same tale a second or even third time. But this is a game that plays over 3 rounds, with each round having players voting on which path to take down the story. Players are going to be playing action cards with different icons, and the dominant icon is going to be the deciding factor on which path is chosen, earning those players victory points while giving all the other players experience points. Players will be playing as different characters from the Witcher series, and players will be able to use those experience points to unlock special abilities for their specific character. The nice thing here is that if you completely max out your experience points, then you'll start using those experience points in order to gain victory points. But in order to get those action cards that you'll be using throughout this game, players are going to be drafting cards at the start of each round. The way this works is that each player is going to be assigning their token to one of the rows of 2 action cards, and then you'll be able to take those action cards into your hand. The only catch here is that the place that you place your pawn also dictates your player order for the following turn. Players will then be choosing 2 cards in secret to place face down in front of them, and then this is going to continue with players drawing 2 cards and going through these motions again until you have done this for 3 turns. Then all your cards will be revealed and you're going to be activating them from left to right. All these cards are going to be providing you with all sorts of different benefits, but your final vote is going to be determined by whichever icon is most prominent across all your cards. This means that you're going to have to decide which cards you want to play based on the action it provides, but also the vote that you want to issue. A really neat feature here is that you'll actually be able to choose 1 or 2 of your cards to keep in your tableau for the following round, so that you do have a little bit more added to your actions once you move on to that next round. But then you also need to keep in mind that those icons are going to be carrying forward, potentially helping or hindering what you want your next vote to be. Like I said, players will be gaining victory points if their path is the one that's chosen, but players can also gain additional victory points by completing different side quests that will be offered throughout the game by completing different objectives that those side quests require. The player with the most victory points at the end of the game wins the game, and if you are interested in this one, you can find a link to the campaign in the description below.